Evening, Dave. Series Aliens. Choppy, is it? John O'Connell, how are you? How did the name come about? I was trying to think of a catchy enough name, and I was thinking something with an Irish link and Proper 12. I was thinking like big brands in Ireland, and Proper 12 would want to be one of the biggest brands, obviously. So Proper Coils sounded good, and they're very proper coils. Right, lads, we're going to do frame staple coil. So I bought two on a good deal. So I got the Cosmonaut layer cake from District 5. So we're going to pop some frame staples into that, and then I also got the Akula. And the reason I got that is because the coils look good on the Akula. I've seen a lot of the coil builders on Instagram using it for pictures, so I just wanted to get one. And I seen it for, I can't actually think. One of them was 10. One of them was 10 euro. No, sorry. One of them was £10, and one of them was £20. I can't remember which, but anyway, two of them are cheap. So we're going to do some frame staples. So the specs is going to be six lengths of 0.5 ribbon for the cores, and then the frames are going to be 26 gauge nichrome, and the wrap is going to be 38 gauge nichrome, and that is going to ohm out. 6 wraps is going to ohm out at 0.1 joule coil. I only opened this today, and just to check would it fit 6 wraps, and it will adjust. So we'll play a bit with that once the coils are built. So right, we get cracking. So I need for six lengths of ribbon. I'm going to cut 3 lengths, and I'm going to double them up. Stretch out 3 lengths first, cut them, double them up, and that'll turn into my 6 lengths. About 18 inches. You don't really need 18 inches, but I'm just going to give myself a little bit of room to play with. What are these all vaping on today? If there's anything new or fancy? Levi, how's things, Stuart? Nice to see you in. Yeah, so for the lads that's coming in there, frame staple coils, dual coil, we're going to ohm out at 0.1, and we're going to be putting them into the layer cake RDA from District 5. With a frame staple coil, the wrapping isn't too difficult. It's the key is to have your prep perfect. Custom D in 1854 Slipo that I'm hoping you'll be able to review. Ah, good man. How's things? Patrick. I didn't recognize the tag. Right, that's the ribbon cut. If you're taking your ribbon off the spool and there's a jaggedy edge, I'd just cut it off if it's only a couple of inches, just to save you a bit of work. And you want your ribbon perfectly straight to make your life easier. So we're going to get our 3 lengths of ribbon, and we're going to try and stack them. So ribbon wire comes the small side, or the short side is always going to be 0.1, and then they'll vary from the opposite side will vary from 0.2 up to 0.5, 0.6. So this is 0.5. Your 0.5 side is the side that you'll be looking at. I'll show you later when I get set up. A handy thing for straightening your ribbon wire is have a little bit of water. Now, you can spit on the ribbon wire, but I use a bit of water. Once the water gets out, it'll stick together a lot easier. And just keep running your fingers down until you've got them laying on top of each other. Nice. Lynn Smith, sorry, didn't see that. How are you? If I put in an order, can I get it? Custom homes? Absolutely, Levi, absolutely. Ask me whatever you want. Wraps, resistances, I'll look after you. No problem. And make sure you use Scottish Vape. Scottish Vape Show 10 for 10% off. Right. So once you have them fairly close to straight, you want to overlap them. Grab this end. Grab your middle, find your middle, make sure they are still overlapping. If you're not getting them to overlap, just add a bit more water and it'll stick better. And then pinch, don't pinch super tight, just pinch so you've got a little loop. And that is the loop that's going to go into your swivels. But make sure to stack them before you pinch. So all the work in frame staple is your prepping your ribbon and the frame, and once you do that right, you're fine. Kieran, how's things? Right, I will get the macro lens. So you can see the end there, they are laying, the 3 lengths are laying perfectly on top of each other. So that's what you want them to look like. Sparks and Fly, how's things? Right, so the next bit is so you have them laying flat and you have your center. So the next bit is to tie off that end. So I just use whatever I'm wrapping it with. So I'm using 38 gauge nichrome, so I will make sure they're flat. You only want your first couple of inches to be perfect to get this first bit done. So my first 2 inches are perfect there. So I'm going to get a little bit of 38 gauge. Now it helps if you pre-cut these. Just have a 2 or 3 inch lengths ready to go, because you don't want to be letting go of the ribbon. Because if you let go of the ribbon, it might unstack itself. And wrap around about 8 times. And then after we do this, we're going to glue this end. And this end is going to be, that's going to be staying the way it is throughout the rest of the build. Right. See that? There we go. Getting better with this camera, okay? Expert. Now, right, glue. We're going to glue that in now. Now this glue, these glue sticks, you get them in any art shop. I got like 20 sticks for less than a tenner anyway. So we glue that in. So that is now glued. So that's going to be secured. Now, the next thing is to do the same thing again, but an inch down. So run your fingers down, make sure everything is stacked perfect. Make sure everything's stacked perfect about an inch down, and you're going to wrap another 8 wraps. And then once you get your 8 wraps on, you're going to slide that down full length, and that's going to tie everything together. Right. Blazing Babes, how's things? Right. So same again, grab your whatever wire we're using to wrap. So this is 38 gauge and about 8 times roughly, it doesn't have to be exact. And that's going to slide in, and it'll pull everything together. Once it's not too crazy down the end. Right, so we've 8 wraps now. Cut the little loose end off and then slide that down. That should slide down and pull all your. That should slide down and pull all your ribbon together. And when you get to the end, so that is your ribbon. When you get to the end, cut off at the shortest point. Right. So we have this end glued. So this end is glued, and that's ready for the swivel. It has its loop in. And then this end is basically all the strands now are running flat. If you pull that tight, it should all sit flat. So we have one more of those to do. One more. Where are we? So same again, same spot, an inch down. Make sure your ribbon is sitting flat, and another 8 wraps. 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and cut the loose ends off. And this is going to act as a slider for your ribbon well. You don't necessarily need this, but I just sort of have it in anyway. it's probably habit from doing staple coils without the frame. So again, that's pulling everything together and leaves out about ½ inch from your previous one. Oh yeah. Right. So this end is glued. So we're going to attach this. We're going to attach our loop onto the swivels now. Hold on a sec. Blazing Vapes. Blazing Vapes is now a moderator, and Levi, where are you? As moderator, and Patrick, where's Patrick? Am I saying your name right, Patrick, or is it Patrick? Where are we? Add moderator. Okay. Next time he's chat there, it'll come up blue, or it should come up blue. Ryan Boyce, how's things? Right. So we have our. I'll bring that down a bit. So we have our loop glued this end, and then we have all our ribbon wire lying flat, and then we have our slider, and then we have our binder at the end. So the next thing is to grab a pair of nylon pliers, and we're going to glue this end before we put it into the chuck. So again, make sure everything is flat and sitting flush. Grab your nylon pliers and squeeze, and give it a pull this direction to straighten everything again. So this is the last bit of getting your ribbon wire straight. Right, so we're going to glue this end, and then we're going to insert it into the chuck. Boom. Demon's got a spanner. Is that your first spanner, Levi? More spanners than a toolkit. I'm generous with my spanners. When I'm getting 400 viewers, and the first 20 lads that used to watch me from the very start are spanners, these will be OGs. Right. Oh, this is the ultimate spanner. The ultimate spanner. Thanks very much, Levi. Right, so we're going to insert. We have this end glued. We have this slider. We have this end glued. Everything is sitting nicely now. Everything is sitting nice, and we're going to insert this into the chuck. And after that, we're going to put in our frames. Cores, for fuck's sake. Huh? Right. Right, so sitting good, looking good, looking good. Right. Clamp that down. Same as last week. You don't need to pull the crap out. It's just enough to straighten the ribbon well. Now, boy. Right, so the next thing is the 26 gauge frames. You can actually put links in there, Levi. Boom, well done. Remember, late night vape show for 10% off. There's competitions here for the discounts. So 26 gauge frames. So what we're going to do is cut whatever length we need, and we're going to run it through the swivel, and then we're going to start this end and try and have it so tight to the side of those frames, or the side of those ribbon wires. So cut enough to double the length. How's Mick? Right. So insert through your swivel, find your two ends and pull, and then pinch this end. So that is going to be your center. And then what I do, there's a few ways of doing this, but what I do is I'll squeeze it alongside till it looks right, alongside the ribbon wire, and then I'll glue this end again. Now you can tie it off, or you can put a clamp on it, but I like doing it because I don't need to worry about it then. I'm after a guest for the show. Right. I might move that camera down. Right, I'm going to move the camera down so you can see what I'm at here. Right, so what we want is, we want it sitting, really. So you want it sitting like that, if you can see that. There you go. You want it sitting like that. So you want your short edge of your ribbon wire sitting up towards the camera there, and then you want your frames either side, and that is what you're going to fuse together. Mark H, how's things? So that is what it's going to look like on the inside. Yeah. Boom, boom. Right, so we have this end glued, so we're going to we're going to have a C-clamp at the end. Run your fingers down, another C-clamp here. And then we need to cut the cores or the frames to length here, so we'll cut them there. Run your fingers down again, make sure everything is tight. Another C-clamp. So that is keeping everything secure, and then I'll glue this end again. And that will be the prep. So this bit here is going to get glued, and then after I glue that bit, it's going to be, I'll put on a larger slider around the frame well, and then I will remove one of the C-clamps and we'll start wrapping the whole thing together then. Okay, so we're going to use ribbon wire as a slider. So we have a piece of ribbon wire here, and we're going to use that. We're going to wrap that around 4 or 5 times, and we're going to use that as a slider for the whole run of the wrap. So 4 or 5 times round. And then once you've got that done, just cut the leads off so they're not in your way when you're wrapping. I'm actually going to glue that end again because it's not 100%. So 4 or 5 times, and give it a squeeze down with your nylons. Squeeze the nylons. Ooh, misses. Dirty mind, Kieran. Dirty mind. Right, I'm going to try that again because I wasn't happy with that slide up, so we're going to wrap it one more time. That's better there, I think. So wrap your ribbon slider 4 or 5 times. Once you have it on 4 or 5 times, cut the ends and give it a little squeeze with the nylons, Kieran. There we go. Now, So I'll give you a close-up of how that looks. So there is your slider, and there is your ribbon, the start of your ribbon wire with the ribbon wire and the 26 gauge frames either side. So that is going to hopefully look like that, stay looking like that as I wrap it. Right, I will I'll leave the camera there for the first bit, and I'll just show you the first part of the wrapping, and then I'll lift it up again. So we get a 38 gauge, and we will wrap it around the start of the glue. Two or three times just to get it secured, and then we'll start wrapping. If you feel like anything is collapsing, just give it a squeeze with the nylons. And as you get to your slider, move it along and go again. Right, I'm going to raise the camera back up because it's hard for me to see with Matt here. One sec. Right, I'll keep wrapping this, and then once I have the length cut off, I'll throw the macro on again. I'll give you a close up of it. The first inch or so is a bit jacked up, and after that, for the last inch and a half now, it's good wire, so it should stay. With the slider, it should stay perfect. Same as a fuse Clapton, if there's any gaps or it backs up on itself, just stop the drill, put it in reverse, and reverse it until the error is gone, and then start again. It's not like an alien where an alien might, if an alien backs up on itself, you can't fix that, so you just have to continue on. You can drop them C-clamps now, once you get close to the end. I hold the reel or spool fairly light because if you're holding too tight, it can collapse the frames or collapse the ribbon. So I try and hold it as light as possible, and just to let it run through your hands. And then, as you get to the end, you can either just stop there, or you can take off the spacer and get the last inch and a half, or even half an inch. And that's just that. Pretty good until probably here, so I'll cut that piece. And then cut at the swivel end. I hope I have enough for two, yeah. If I don't have enough for two, I done a run before the live and I have a spare coil here. Let's see how we go wrapping. With wrapping, not so much a frame stepper, but a staple coil. A staple coil can move a lot when you're wrapping, so you have to keep a lot of tension on it. a frame staple isn't as bad, isn't as hard. Trying to figure out which end is best. Maybe this end, yeah. Right, we will cut these to length first. John, can we see all your new glasses, please, when you get a minute? Can we see your new glasses? I'll show you my new glasses. What do you think? They're jewelry making glasses, and they're used for obviously working close up. And they are. I literally only got them in today. They'll be very useful for staggered builds, making sure you're hitting your gaps properly. Not so much these kind of coils. I've got those commands, Stuart. Right, we'll wrap one of these, and we will throw a build in the layer cake, and that will be it. Where's my jig? Here we are. Just when wrapping these, like, just keep a bit of tension. Make sure there's plenty of tension, and just try and keep everything tight. So we'll go for 6 wraps. 6 wraps on a dual coil will get us 0.1. 0.1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And 2. With all my coils, I'll always bend the end. That's everything. Fuse captains, aliens, everything. I'll always put a little U in it and squeeze, because it will stop the wrap moving. Right, that's not working. There was a kink in the middle of it, and it's just gone to hell. You see that? Not usable. And that's why you make spares. It's like blue peel I have. One I made out of. Right, so we have 2 anyway, so at least we can build the layer cake. You've been stalking me. Right. The layer cake, I only took it out of the box once, so it's like brand new to me, this thing. Layer cake, I'll bring the camera down. Yeah. No, it's like. Right, Cosmonaut layer cake from District 5. It's like the gunmetal one. It was one of the few ones. It was on sale probably because they had low stock left. It is. Not focusing. O-ring on the bottom. A10 drip tip, and I don't like it mad. It comes apart in 3 sections, so that is the deck. Where are we? That is the deck. So it's one screw and it clamps everything down, and there is some sort of ceramic plate in between the positive and the negative. Where are we? So and then this piece comes apart. So your airflow is coming in these. Where's my? Your airflow is coming in through these 4. What is it? 1, 2, 3 slots, and there is. So that's both sides open. And then you can go one side, I think. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah. That's one side open. But we'll be doing 2 sides open, obviously. Right. So we'll see what size this deck is. Six, 6.5. Right, 6.5 it looks like. So we cut the legs 6.5. Now I normally, with my coils, I normally have my legs, like, I sell my coils with the legs flat on the same plane. But with this, because of the way the deck is, that's not really going to work. You need to have your legs spaced and not on the same plane. So I'll have to adjust this one here. It's more like an old school. You'll notice most of the RDAs and RTAs now have it where your legs will be like joining the post or being screwed into the post on the same plane. That's why I always have my coils that way. But this will have a gap, so it's like an old school sort of looking coil. Right, so we have a flathead. to building actually, really easy. 0.86 or 0.086, that's coming out. So if you hear people saying, what's the point in buying a DNA? Well, one of the advantages of having a DNA is it will fire to as low as 0.05. If you have I know I have a double barrel from Squid Industries over there, and if I put that on there, it won't, or maybe it will, 0.08, it probably will. If it's like lower than 0.7, 0.6, it probably won't fire. But whereas a DNA will fire. I'm sure most of you were watching Vic. He had to throw his proper coils into DNA to get it to get them burned in. So 29 watts, and we'll warm these up. Actually, I never give you a close up. Hold on. Hold on. So like a frame staple to me it looks similar to fused Clapton, but it's like there's more curve to it, and it's like a fatter, chunkier coil. Burn these in. Daredevil, how's things? So when these settle in, they should settle in at around 0.1. I'll just up the wattage a bit and get them going. When you're heating up your coils and cooling them, then just give them another tighten, just to be sure. That's actually a nice color now. I'll show you that. Sometimes if you start burning your coils at a nice low temperature or wattage, they will start to look nice for pictures and stuff. Right, so we'll get up to 50 and see, get these glowing reds. Now if I go in to measure that again, let's see, can we see this now? So if I go in to measure, and measure coil. So there you go. So once you remeasure it again, it comes in at 0.1, so that's perfect. 6 wraps. So they'd be good. They would be a good coil in a Mac. They'd ramp up slightly slower because of the cantle ribbon, but they'd still be very usable in a Mac. Right, we get some cotton gauze available at propercoils.com as of last week. Proper Coils is selling. We're selling cotton. We're selling tweezers, scissors, duo tofu, vape tool kit. We're selling the Coil Master V4 jig kit. So if you need any of that stuff, head over to the website and we'll look after you. Right. All I vape my like 0.1 is my build for Max. That's all I use for Max. 0.15 for me would be far too cool of a vape. 0.1 is perfect. You'd see the vape in Bogan. His single battery Max, he'd be running at 0.1, 0.11. It'd be a popular enough resistance for a lot of guys using Max. A pair of scissors behind the other. No, where are we? Scissors. Cotton thread is my fave. I've never used cotton threads. Yeah. It's obviously a lot handier getting cotton in the first place. I bought a few different. I obviously tried Bacon Prime before, and I obviously tried Muji because they sell that with coils. And I tried this. The reason I tried this is just seeing Vic and a few other reviewers were using this. I feel like it's very similar to Cotton Bacon Prime, but I don't know. Like, it's hard to know what cotton is, not like. There's not much in it. There's not much in it between that and Cotton Bacon Prime, I think. Right, I'll try and keep a bit of a gap underneath the coil. Let the air out on both sides. Right, I'll get my juice. And we're going to be using some wick liquor. This stuff here. Wick liquor Carnival. It's like a donut, a glazed donut flavor. It's nice. Right. And I'll tuck that cut down a bit more just so it doesn't get trapped by the cap. The juice well is not big in this. If I had to guess, like 2.5, 3 mil, I'd say. But once you have your cap on, I'm sure it'll be fine. So there's no locking mechanism, it just spins. So you line up your coils and then spin the top bit to the top half to adjust your airflow. Right, lines will go back on top. Right, we'll give this a bit of a vape. 54 watts is not going to be enough. I'll bump it up to 70 to start with. That's not too much. We will try 90, 92. 100. If you look at the airflow slots, I thought there'd be less. Airflow, but there's actually a decent amount of airflow there. It's deceiving looking. It looks like it's tight when it is. I suppose it is a Cyclops full. There's a full slot open there. There's a decent amount of airflow there. There's more airflow than there is in the. What is this called again? Akula, is it? Akula. You could definitely do a deeper juice well. There's a bit of leak in there. That was from priming the coils. That's getting very hot now. Watts. There we go, lads. That was an hour, just over an hour. 1 hour 7. I'm going to hit the road. I am waiting on. I'm waiting on the Hauer RTA. I thought I was going to get it this week. I was hoping to do a live unboxing of the Hauer RTA because I know. It was a pre-order and not a lot of reviewers have it, so I was going to stick like an unboxing live, and I was going to stick some coils in it and try out maybe a couple of coils. I think I should. It's in Croatia as of this morning, and I was leaving Croatia, so I should have it by the middle or the end of next week. So hopefully, the day I get it, I'll stick up a live, showing off the RTA and I'll be set up for an unboxing, so hopefully it'll be better. I'll have like a white mat and all that good stuff. Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll fly through chat. Thanks, Kieran. Thanks very much, Stuart, Martin, Mick, Louis Fishing. How's things? Levi, or the Leviathan Vapor. Mark H. Blazing. Dave Flowers. Who else we got? Flowers, Sparks and Fly, Patrick, or Patrick, you can tell me how you pronounce your name. John O'Connell, Lynn. Thank you all for coming in and watching, and my next video or my next live will definitely be the RTA live unboxing, and we'll stick a couple of bells in it. Thanks very much, lads. See you.